So a little later on today, there are to be 2 votes of confidence that could bring down Emmanuel Macron's government. The key issue is pension reform and the president's decision to force the legislation through without the support of Parliament and the majority of French people. Both Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally Party and the centrist grouping Govt have put forward motions of confidence. They're being debated right now and will be voted on at about 6 p.m. this evening. Well, our reporter Clovis Casali is at the National Assembly. He joins me right now. Clovis, the debates have been going on for an hour or so. Can you just give us a flavour of what they've been like so far?
Well, first, the leader of Govt, that centrist group, Charles de Courson, addressed MPs saying this pension reform bill is simply undemocratic. Undemocratic also the way it was forced through by the French government, decided of course by President Emmanuel Macron using Article 49.3 instead of going through a vote here at the National Assembly because he feared he might lose that vote. Charles de Courson saying also that this was very clearly about saving money, this pension reform bill, but there were many other ways to save billions, and that's the way the economy minister should act, try to tackle deficits in a different way and not by penalising, not by punishing the French people. Then you have the far-right representative Laure Lavalette representing the National Rally, who came up with this second motion of confidence, saying that it was a brutal bill and that the government was acting brutally, and then the atmosphere became very tense, a lot of animosity in the air when the president of the Renaissance Renew, the ruling movement, Aurore Berger, representing President Macron, took to the stage saying that this was a brave law. Also that this vote of no confidence was in fact a vote on the pension reform bill, a way, of course, to say that this pension reform bill was necessary, very important for French finances. And I can tell you there was a lot of booing at the National Assembly, a lot of insults, verbal attacks with the opposition, furious, of course, by the way the French government is acting, and that's why it's trying to topple the government. All eyes now on the vote that will be taking place later behind closed doors. It's set to be a close call. Every vote will count in order to secure that magic number of 287 votes. That's the absolute majority. And of course, President Macron hasn't got that absolute majority in Parliament following the last parliamentary elections, and that's why he needs to convince politicians from other parties, notably from the centre-right LR movement, once led by Nicolas Sarkozy, and that party is very divided on the issue whether to back or not the government.
And Clovis, as you suggest, this is likely to be a close vote tonight, but whether the government wins or loses, it does sound like the anger in France, in the streets, is going to rumble for several days.
Regardless of the result of this vote of confidence, whether the government has toppled or not, I can tell you that people will take to the streets in the coming days. You've already got rallies organised for next Thursday, strike in the transport sector, in garbage collecting, in various energy sectors also. All of these disruptions planned for Thursday. Of course, if the government is toppled and President Macron changes prime minister, anger will not be boiling as much, even though the French government is in a good position still to stay put and pass this law. But the French demonstrators have decided to take to the streets in the coming days, infuriated at the way the French president has been acting in coming days. Strikes will go on. Unions and opposition parties have warned that. And you remember Charles de Courson, the man I was talking to you about, the leader of the Govt group centrist. Well, he was saying that even if this pension reform bill passes, he expects the Constitutional Court to look into the matter and judge that some articles of the law are just unlawful and undemocratic, and therefore that this pension reform bill will have to be changed.
All right, Clovis Casali at the National Assembly for now. Thanks very much indeed.